Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and it's Mother's Day. And here's wishing all the mothers and mothers to be out there a very, very happy Mother's Day. This year at Business Today Television, we aim to bring to you this special show to really help all the parents to be out there to really look at a very essential component of life. And this will be for the would-be mothers, which is maternity health insurance. Now, if you are someone who may be planning to start a family in the near future, you must definitely watch this video till the end as we bust for you all the confusions that surround the maternity health insurance covers. How do you choose them? What are the key things that you must ask your insurance provider before you select a cover for yourself? And what are the essential features that you must check in these covers that are available in the market? Now, to help us navigate through all of these questions and many more insights, I am now joined by Amit Chhabra, the Chief Business Officer of Health Insurance at policypassar.com. Welcome, Amit. Thank you so much for taking the time out. Well, first up, for all the viewers out there, let's start off with a basic point. Do to help us understand what exactly are these maternity insurance covers and how are they really different from any normal health insurance cover that somebody gets?
Sure. So I'll clarify. The maternity health insurance covers they're not really different from regular health insurance plans. Rather, this is one of the benefits of health insurance, which is there in some of these plans, which offer coverage for maternity as well. As such, by design, maternity events are an exclusion in all health insurance plans, and only specific plans which clearly clarify and specify that they cover for maternity, they provide health insurance in case of a claim for maternity. Now there are three parts to this. The first part is what is important to understand is what is the sum insured for maternity, because maternity sum insured will be different from the overall sum insured of health insurance policies. So for example, let me talk of one of the plans. Let's say you buy a 10 lakh rupee sum insured. That is your sum insured for health insurance, but maternity will have a separate sum insured, right? And it's typically 1 to 2 lakh rupees in this case. So one needs to understand what is the maternity sum insured, and that basically defines how much of the amount will be covered in case of a maternity event. That is a very, very important part when you're looking at getting coverage for maternity in a health insurance policy.
Okay, one very important point right there. Some of the plans which may have this as an inclusion or an added on benefit, you must definitely check what exactly is the sum insured for maternity that you get in your overall health plan. Now, help us understand, Amit, should parents to be really look at adding maternity plans to existing policies or take them completely separate aside from the policies that they have?
No, so see, there are no separate policies for maternity as we were discussing. So this has to be a part of your regular health insurance policy, and they will be slightly expensive, obviously, because there is an expense which is the probability of which happening is quite high. So in that sense, it is a bit expensive, but yes, one must look to have this as your primary health insurance policy. There are no separate plans only covering maternity.
Okay.
These are health insurance plans which also provide the maternity benefit. Now,
Understood.
the important question is, should one look to have it or not? See, you have to understand the cost of maternity has really, really gone up in the last few years. If you live in a tier one city like Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, Pune, or the likes, then you will end up spending almost 2 to 3 lakh rupees on a maternity expense, specifically if you go to one of the top tier hospitals.
Yeah.
And if let's say you're in a tier 2 city, then again you would be spending 1 to 2 lakh rupees, assuming you go to a good enough hospital. So the cost of maternity has really gone up, and it does not really end there, right? Once the maternity event is over and the mother and the baby are back home, post that also there is a slew of expenses that happen, from vaccinations to doctor consultations, etc., etc. So it's a fairly large expenditure, and I think having maternity as a part of your health insurance policy is increasingly becoming quite necessary.
Okay, so having a maternity cover within your health insurance is absolutely essential in case you are looking to enter into that phase sooner or later. This is one aspect that you should definitely check in your overall health insurance plans as well. And so, do tell us now, what are the key features of such plans? What all do they cover?
See, so they cover practically anything and everything that's related to the maternity event. So typically, when you go for a maternity event, you end up taking a package. The package will include some scans pre-maternity. It will include the cost of the surgery, the treatment, the recovery phase, and then once that is over, it will also include, there will be expenses on vaccinations again for the baby. There will be OPD appointments that you'll have to take, with the pediatrician. So all of these do get covered as a part of a regular maternity process. Apart from this, a lot of new age plans also now cover two, three more things. So in case there is an infertility treatment that you have to go for, that is also covered as a part of the health insurance policies. It also goes to the extent of covering for adoption expenses as well. So in case one is planning to adopt a baby, then that the expenses related to that are also covered. Uh, in case of a surrogacy, if surrogacy is being adopted, then that also is covered as a part of the health insurance policy. If somebody is taking an IVF treatment, that again gets covered. So practically anything and everything that can possibly happen, when one is trying to have a child, the entire spectrum is covered. So from a regular birth to a C-section to to other methods. So largely anything and everything that may happen in a maternity event or the maternity process, that gets covered under the health insurance policies.
Right, I mean, but what about the waiting period? Do you think that is an important component that one should really check when one is going for such covers at this point in time? What are the essentials that one should check on that front? And the second important point will be on the premiums, if you could help us understand.
Sure. See, waiting periods is actually a very, very important part of this of when you're looking to cover maternity. And interestingly, so when we look at people who come to Policy Bazaar looking to buy maternity health insurance, a lot of them come when they've already conceived a baby. So they are into the first trimester in most cases. Now you have to understand, if you're already conceived and you're in the first trimester, then almost everybody who buys the policy is going to claim. So in that scenario, typically customers don't get a maternity health insurance coverage. The reason is almost every health insurance policy has a waiting period of 9 months or more. So the idea is one has to buy the right health insurance policy before you conceive a child. So there are policies now which start with a 9 month waiting period. It goes to 1 year, 2 year, and maximum up to 4 years. But the good news is that the best plans, health insurance plans which have maternity coverage, they will basically come at an 1 year roughly waiting period. So if let's say you are in that zone right now where you're planning to have a baby in the next 1-2 years, then that is the right time to buy a health insurance policy, a maternity health insurance policy.
Okay, understood. And now do tell us which are the companies that are offering such maternity insurance covers, which are the ones that one should be really looking at, and what are the kind of premiums that are charged for these?
Sure. So see, there is a very good plan by Niva Bupa. It's called Aspire. Then there is a plan called Infinity by Reliance General Insurance. I would say these two plans are the ones which rank right up there when it comes to maternity coverage, largely for two reasons. One is the waiting period again. So both of them have a waiting period of 1 year or less, and also the coverage is quite substantial. So in the first plan you can get coverage up to almost 50,000 rupees, whereas in the Reliance plan you can get coverage up to 2 lakh rupees, which
Okay.
I think is a sufficient amount of coverage. The good news is you were talking about premiums. So the premiums are anywhere between 10 to 20% higher over the normal health insurance plan premiums that one has. So
Okay.
what that means is it's not overly expensive, but at the same time, it gets you adequate enough coverage. So I would say that is the sweet spot that one should look at when you're looking at buying a maternity health insurance plan.
Understood. So, Amit, lastly, for anyone who is really looking at this video and now maybe mulling to go ahead and look for and do some research with regards to medical insurance when it comes to maternity insurance covers, do tell them key 4 or 5 things that any parent to be should be really looking to ask the insurance provider before they go ahead and purchase a policy cover.
Sure. So the first thing is to understand what the maternity sum insured is. And I would say it should be at least, you should look at least 1 lakh rupees of coverage, because the maternity expense is quite high these days. It's anywhere between 1 to 3 lakhs based on which city you are in. So that's the first thing, maternity sum insured. Second, you should look at what network they are offering it at, because typically one already has some sort of a preference of where you want to go for your maternity claim. So you must ensure that your preferred hospital is already a part of that network or not. The third thing to look at is the waiting period. So what is the waiting period for taking a maternity claim? And it has to align with your overall plan. So let's say if you are planning to have a baby after 2 years and your policy has a waiting period of 4 years, then that plan is sort of not very useful to you. So that's the other thing that one must look at. Fourthly, it's also important to understand what is the process of baby addition once the maternity event is over. That is another very, very important point. And ideally, you would want a plan which covers the baby from day one itself. The moment the baby is born, because there are various scenarios where, in case there is a complication, at times babies have to be hospitalized because of jaundice, they have to be kept in NICU for a few days. So, and the expense can be quite large. So, you would want a plan which also covers your baby from day one itself. That is also a very, very important parameter. So, these largely are the 4 important things that one should look at when you're looking to buy a maternity health insurance plan.
Fair enough. Point noted right there. Thank you so much, Amit, for being with us on this very special edition and really sharing these valuable insights when it comes to maternity insurance covers. We all know the way maternity health insurance health covers or health expenses are rising. Insurance covers are absolutely essential for anyone who is looking to be a parent to be in the coming years. So these are the essential things that you need to really keep in your mind and ensure that your health insurance does have that provision as well. And these are the things that Amit has really highlighted that you need to ask your insurance provider also when you're going ahead and buying that insurance cover. Hope that really helps. Thank you so much, Amit, for being on this very special edition. Viewers, we will wrap it up at that. Here's wishing all the mothers and the mothers to be a very happy Mother's Day yet again. Do write into us in the comment section in case you still have any questions or clarifications that you'd like our experts to really help you with, and we will ensure that we can come back with some more information in some added informative videos as well. Many thanks until then.